Hello. So today I'm going to be talking about a thing that I find myself referring to more and more often, which is something that I like to call digital black holes. Um, and it sounds weird, but I'm going to start with the definition of this really quickly. Digital black holes, in normal campaigns, we have essentially this is our targetable audience, and this might be, 2 to 3 million on Meta or whatever. It could be beyond that. Realistically, our optimization settings, what we ideally want them to do is focus in on a little section within here that is the most likely to actually buy. Obviously, this is a massive simplification, and yeah, this is probably much more multi-dimensional than just this 2D shape. But essentially, there's a risk within this. That's the ideal. We want the algorithm to basically go towards this. Um, what I like to call digital black holes are essentially when we have a similar sized audience, but they're essentially bits of activity. They're actually essentially parts of the internet where there's tons of activity, but no actual human attention or very, very little human attention. So there are spots where it's masses of activity, but actually no humans are really taking actions that we want them to take. And there could be many reasons for this. The most obvious one is that there's a ton of bots. Clicking through a lot of places. As soon as they come onto the website, they crawl a number of pages and then they leave. This is a ton of activity. If you're optimizing towards, something or bots that simply load a lot of pages, for example, that can kind of hazard display campaigns. That's a ton of activity, quick movement that can cause algorithms to optimize towards it, but actually there's no real action. And there's many other examples of this. This could be, people who are leaving YouTube on, for example, to play in the background, but not actually paying all attention. It could be if you're optimizing towards kind of like campaigns on Meta, if anyone's actually still doing that, or people following your page. It could be simply optimizing to people who just blindly click like every single post, for example. Um, it could be ad placements that really, really suck, that are really cheap. Um, but essentially, what these do, because there's a ton of activity on them, if you have the wrong optimization setting, again, you just find your campaigns all optimizing towards this period of activity where there's no actual attention, where it's not making any results. And the impact of this is that essentially your campaigns have no impact because they're not hitting anyone who is paying attention to your ads. And there could be many reasons for this, why campaigns would optimize towards it. If you have a campaign that's on a CPM goal, for example, it's going to optimize towards a digital black hole, which is essentially the cheapest placements that a platform can possibly give you. Um, and this might be, for example, like serving on the right-hand side feed on Meta, or display programmatic serving you towards really cheap publishers and sites. We've all seen them that are obviously not there for human consumption. Um, those are really, really cheap placements. They're things that this advertiser who's actually optimizing towards revenue is not going to hit. So CPM is just one of those. Reach and frequency is another one where, and this is kind of, I talked about this last week with reach placements, is that yeah, it's fine to expand out into all reach among this audience, but if you're going for reach and frequency, each of the platforms is incentivized to again drive you to this really, really cheap uh, inventory that they can't shift elsewhere, but it's going to reduce your CPM overall. So it's kind of well, theoretically, it's a win-win, great for your CPM balance sheet, but actually, it's not making any impact. Um, Likewise, it could be other one where if you have a campaign optimizing towards leads, and you don't have any kind of definition of quality leads, again, it's just going to send you as many low quality bots as it can find for you. And again, it's going to lead you into this black hole. And another reason why black hole is a really appropriate term for this is basically once it's really difficult to escape once a campaign is optimized towards it. but also no light will ever escape there. Your ad will not see really much light of day. And it's not serving to anyone who's paying much attention to it. It's not achieving your goals. And this is really often why, if you have simple brand campaigns that are optimizing towards CPM, for example, or reach and frequency, to very bad F and a plus. But if you have any of them, that's often why they have no actual impact on brand awareness or anything like that. So this is what I mean by digital black holes. They suck everything into them if you have the wrong optimization targets, and really they lead so that you have absolutely no impact, or your ads have absolutely no impact